War of the Visions is finally in the Final Fantasy trading card game. It's true, you can now play with or collect your favorite War of the Visions characters, such as King Elda, King Elda's wimpy son, King Elda's angry son, and even King Elda's landlord? So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at the new Final Fantasy trading card game set, Opus 14, and we're going to take a look specifically at the War of the Visions cards. Now, if you're new to Final Fantasy trading card game, that's awesome. I'm going to put some links in the description so that you can go find some information. If you want to buy some product, you can go use Cards.Evilis or, another distributor, and you can get some cards for collection, for playing, whatever you want. And if you want to find other people that play the game, I'll put some links for that too. So this is not meant to be like an in-depth review for experienced players. This is going to be my initial thoughts on the cards, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the lore and kind of like the flavor with each card and how they were designed. So let's do that. All right, we're going to start with the big boy himself, Mont Leonis. He's an Earth card, Job Prince, and all of these War of the Visions cards are just going to be classified as category FFBE. So he's 11 cost, which is really, really high, but the cost required to cast him is going to be reduced by 1 for every single Earth character that you have, and so if you play him in a deck with a bunch of Earth characters, then he'll be a lot cheaper. So when he enters the field, he plays a Earth forward of cost 6 or less from your break zone onto the field. That's very, very strong. And then when he dies, when he goes into the break zone, he makes it so the next damage you take is 0. So effectively, you can just block with him, and then your opponent could try attacking you, but whoever they attack with, it's not going to do anything, so you don't have to block it. That's really cool. This actually seems like a really solid card in a mono Earth deck. So flavor-wise, this makes a lot of sense to me. So Calum is the unit that Mont is like a leader of, and they are kind of greater than the sum of their parts. They come together, they have a deep bond, and the more people that surround Mont, the stronger that he becomes with the responsibility of leading them, and that's what I kind of see here. Like, that's the cost reduction, and Sterne's going to kind of have like the opposite type of effect. We'll see him next. Okay, so Sterne is a dark forward. He's also Job Prince, which we do have synergy for, and he's of course FFBE category. So the cost required to play your forwards is reduced by 1. That's just super powerful, super general thing that you can do. And then you can remove forwards from your break zone to do one of 3 things, and they're all super powerful. So this card is really cool. So he's got a over curve body with 9k power. That's really strong for a 4 cost unit. And his cost reduction is really on theme. I think Fortem is a group that the Leonis soldiers want to join. People are coming, they're traveling to join this group. People want to be a part of it, and Sterne is a big reason. They want to fight with Lord Sterne, and I think that that's part of this cost reduction, is how easy it is to recruit people into Fortem to chase glory with Sterne. So I love this. It's kind of like similar to Mont with a cost reduction, but it's, Sterne's strong by himself, and then other people will come to join him. So I think they're spot on with this. I love the action abilities. They're super powerful, but they take a little bit to set up. You can't, if you use 1, then you got to wait for another 4 forwards to come, but it's super easy to use once you have the forwards. So definitely very, very strong card. Here he is. It's my boy Elda. So he is a common. Comment on that. He's fine. It's not really great. He's just like a pack filler. So the fact that he's 5 cost makes it pretty much like impossible to play him in a constructed deck. He's more of like a draft card, or like a like a pre-release whatever limited card. Flavor wise, I think that his effect, I guess I should read him. So when he enters the field, you can pick a job standard unit from the break zone and add it to your hand. So the standard units are like your general, like in War of the Visions, they're those like copy Leonis soldiers. Every nation has these soldiers that look identical. That's what the standard units are, kind of like. That's an analogy. So what I think this is relating to is visions, summoning visions. So they, like when Mont in the recent chapter summons some visions, and they're just a bunch of Leonis soldiers. I think that's what Elda is doing. He's bringing soldiers back from the break zone, putting them into your hand. Those are visions, but I think to make it a little bit stronger of a flavor, when you have to put them onto the field. So this card is not great. They did Elda dirty because he's done nothing wrong. I personally think so. What are you gonna do? Now we have Kitone, and Kitone is very cool. For a rare card, she packs quite the punch. So she's also Earth, she's Job Ninja, which has synergy in FFTCG, and she has an EX burst, so if you flip her over for damage, she does something, and it's really cool. When she enters the field, you choose a character, and during this turn it can't attack, block, or use action abilities. That's Stop, aka her limit burst, Saiga Shadowbind. That is so cool that they put that on there. Then she has Dream Within a Dream, which should look familiar because that's one of her best abilities. It's a chaining ability, does multiple types of or multiple instances of damage, and in the card game it's no different. If you have an extra Kitone in hand, that's what the S is, and then you dull Kitone, you can choose a forward and deal it 4,000 damage, and then you can pay 1 Earth and you can do it again. So I believe this chains, and then it becomes, as long as you have the CP, the crystal points to do this, you can chain this ability and do some serious damage to people, and that's on a backup. So it gives you, you can put 3 of these in your deck, and then all of a sudden you have a higher chance of hitting it on an EX burst, but then you can also, you draw an extra copy. Okay, well, you can use Dream Within a Dream. This card is very cool, very, very thematically accurate in terms of like the flavor and stuff. Super pumped about this. Okay, so this is Muraga Fennes. While this is an EX burst and it's got some cool value that it could help, I don't get the flavor at all. I don't get it. Someone please explain this to me. Muraga is like a destroyer of people. He's so strong. So why is it when Muraga Fennes enters the field, choose 1 forward, put into the break zone during this turn and add it to your hand, why is he recovering something? Why is he bringing back, a card? I don't get that at all. He should be destroying something, honestly. But he's Earth, he's an EX burst, he's 3 cost. If you have like a specific game plan where you're like, I have this card, I want to keep playing it, and I'm going to kill it as part of my game plan. I'm just going to kill it because it does something. And then you could use Muraga to bring that back, and then you have a plan. But like just as a general card, it's not very good at all. So bummer, they messed up on this one. Over to Horn, and we have Shuzelt. He is a Job Knight. He's lightning forward. Okay, first of all, lightning forward, Job Knight. Knight is a I want to say it's heavily supported in FFTCG, but it's never been like crazy good. So it's just cool to see more light Knight cards, and they fit into the lightning and water elements, and a bit in fire as well. But Shuzelt doesn't want to see those other elements. He wants you to play with lightning characters, at least, mostly lightning characters, because when they enter the field, or when he enters the field, you get to deal 1,000 damage to an opponent. And then if you use his Grim Reaper, which is one of the skills in the game, you can choose a damaged forward and then break it. So clearly, this is going to be, he fulfills his own special if you play a lightning card and then have an extra Shuzelt in hand plus 2 lightning CP, you have just a kill on command. Now, unfortunately, he's a common. That's going to be, hard to time properly. It's really expensive to do it in the turn he comes in. But in terms of the flavor, because we got to talk about the flavor, he's the first Sword of Solidus, and he will break you, I guess. Alright, so Macherie is the best unit in War of the Visions, don't come at me, so she must be a pretty good FFTCG card, right? Well, as we know, Macherie has the artifact, a necklace, that summons Ifrit until she gives it to Mont. What are you doing, Macherie? This will show up on her card, the Summon Synergy. She summons Ifrit specifically, but there's like an Esper affinity there. So all of her effects are summon related. If we look at her, she's a light forward Job Princess, which we have some princess synergy, and she reduces the cost to cast your summons by 1. She can also remove summons from the break zone and then do other effects. All the effects are good. So she's 2 CP, it's very cost effective. The thing is that the competition for light and dark cards in a deck is really tough. They don't, like, this is getting into the game a bit, but light and dark cards don't generate CP when you discard them, so they're really tricky. You can't just put a bunch of them into a deck. You would just not be able to play the game, so you have to use them sparingly. So it's really tough to put them in the deck, like a bunch of them, and there's so many good ones that, the new ones have to be incredible to make it into a deck. This one is fine. I love the the effects. I think I would try it, but I think that it's not as good as other light and dark cards that we have. So I don't know if she's going to see play or not, but very pumped to see a Macherie card. Finally, we're going to take a look at Gilgamesh, who is a legendary card. This is the highest rarity in the game. Okay, so this is, of course, our War of the Visions version of Gilgamesh, not to be confused with the original Gilgamesh that came out in Monster Strike. So he is a winged one, job winged one there. Forward 7k power, but if you have 3 or more different elements in your break zone, then he gains 1000 power haste and first strike. And then if you have 7 or more, he also gets brave and can attack 3 times in the same turn. So if you have every single element in your deck and they're all in the break zone, then he becomes a monster 8k forward that can attack a bunch of times. And that sounds really crazy, but super hard to achieve. But also when he attacks, you can basically dull and freeze a character if you have 5 or more different elements among the cards in your break zone. So Gilgamesh is ice. He's ice in a War of the Visions. He has ice attacks. So of course when you give him a card, you make him ice, and then you give him an effect that has to do with having entirely different elements, because that's game design right there. So this seems really like a lot of work that's kind of like overly complicated, will take a while, and then you get a super powerful unit out of it. So I guess that's the flavor, right? Because he's a 100 cost unit at the beginning of the game. A lot of us couldn't build him. It took so long to get to this unit at the very end, and the unit was good, but like not crazy back then because he didn't have his buffs yet. Yeah, I guess that's the flavor, because I don't get what else it would be here. I feel like they did Gilgamesh dirty a bit. If anyone has a better flavor than the mechanics of leveling Gilgamesh, then if there's like a story flavor here, please let me know. Otherwise, this card it's cool and obviously has lots of potential. Even at 3 or more, it becomes a really like fun card, but I wouldn't say it's like a legend rarity card. But maybe, you know, I'm a little rusty and I'm missing the point on this one. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it and talking a little bit about the Final Fantasy trading card game. If you're interested in getting into it, then again, I'm putting some links in the description below. There's a Facebook group that you have to join because that's where we all are in North America. There's a Europe group as well. There's lots of places that you can go to learn about the game. You can even play it online unofficially, or you can play it at a local gaming store near you, hopefully. But otherwise, you should always go support like your local game store. But if you want to buy some product online, my favorite store to go to is Cards of Evilis. They are awesome, and the owner also plays War of the Visions, so you can go support him. But even if you just want to collect, these cards are going to look so good in foil. So in Final Fantasy trading card game, every single card comes out in foil, so you could just get the full War of the Visions foil set and just hold on to that if you just want to collect, or you can get into the game as a player. Lots of good options for you. That's going to be it for me, so we'll see you all next time.